Hello, my lovely people. Grace here, Bicodonia. Now, today is obviously not ride day. Today is what the hell happened to my clutch day. And first, I'm going to give you the long answer. Now, I was going to explain it all to your face, but unfortunately, I am up in the mountains, which you would think would be really quiet for recording videos. But unfortunately, every time I try to talk to you, somebody decides to cut down a tree with a machete, which is very loud and very annoying. So let's overdub some audio and start at the beginning. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Great Clutch Saga of 2022, let me give you a brief introduction. This is my brand new KLX230 Standard Edition after 220 kilometers of riding, and as you can see, the clutch is not looking super healthy. In fact, the clutch gave out after 220 kilometers and left me stranded in the jungle. This led to a fairly epic hike for survival, some dehydration, and I even had to drink a banana tree, as you do. But ultimately, we were able to rescue the bike by towing it out with a CRF 450 RL. Anyway, so here we are in the workshop wondering what the hell happened, and as you may or may not be able to see in that shot, there is one clutch plate there which is absolutely toast. What's interesting is that the other friction plates look pretty much fine, so 1 out of 6 is toast and the other 5 are cool. So what does this tell me about the genesis of the problem? Well, every man and his dog has a theory, and I'm listening to all of them. One of the very interesting ones is that the KLX230 has a 2-stage clutch, which means that there is a judder spring which causes the first clutch plate to engage slightly before the other 5. The function of this is to make it harder to stall the bike as you're engaging the clutch, which would match with the high idle problem on this bike, which apparently was also designed by Kawasaki to make it harder for beginner riders to stall the bike, and ultimately has made the bike really annoying for experienced riders. But getting back to the 2-stage clutch and that judder spring, so the theory is that this would be why one clutch plate is doing all the work and wearing out before the rest. On the other hand, anecdotally and through my observation, it's not that uncommon to find that one or more of your clutch plates is worn more than the rest. Fixes which have been suggested to me include simply running steel clutch plates, which I will be doing next time, or taking out the judder spring altogether and replacing it with a spacer so that the clutch operates like a normal clutch. But of course, it may be far more simple than that. Maybe when I first started riding the bike, the clutch adjustment was just a little bit too tight. Now, I didn't notice anything at all amiss with the clutch adjustment during the first 220 kilometers, but I will say that I put on these Acerbis handguards, and in order to do that, I switched out to aftermarket levers, which are shorter than the stock levers. On top of that, the clutch lever ended up having to be rotated so that it didn't interfere with the handguard. Now, the shop rotated the clutch lever upwards, which is the opposite of what I wanted. I want the clutch lever on the downward side so that when I'm standing up, I have a nice, clean, straight pull of the clutch instead of bending my wrist. So I've also made that adjustment. I've adjusted the lever downward again and made sure there's plenty of free play. I've now had the clutch springs replaced with heavy-duty springs, and in order to offset the additional heaviness of the clutch, I have also replaced the little lever here which you attach the end of your clutch cable to. Now, I don't know what the technical terminology is for this little bit of metal, but I now have a slightly larger bit of metal here than before, and that offsets the additional heaviness of the clutch with those stronger, heavier duty clutch springs. And I can confirm that the clutch is now quite normal. It's a little heavier than before, but not too heavy. Another popular theory is that I was just riding the bike wrong, that I was slipping the clutch too much and riding the clutch too much, and that my bad riding therefore put too much pressure on the friction plates and cooked my clutch. However, I've never killed a clutch before in all my years of riding, and I got 90,000 Ks out of the last one on my KTM, so that isn't my preferred theory. On the other hand, it's also been suggested that maybe the KLX230 Standard Edition is simply not designed for any kind of enduro. Now, they market it as an off-road bike, they market it as a dual sport, but maybe enduro is really beyond the capabilities of this little bike. I doubt that because Thailand is awash with Kawasaki KLXs, and these are the jungle bikes of choice. Now, granted, there is a big difference between a standard edition and a KLX 230R, but there are plenty of standards around which have been riding through the jungle for ages without cooking their clutches. So that was the long answer to what the hell happened to my clutch. And the short answer is I don't know. I'm going to wait and see if the current modifications regarding clutch adjustment, spring replacement, plate replacement, and oil change have done anything to get me more than 220 kilometers out of this next clutch. And I will soon be in a position to let you know. So this is a video with more questions than answers. So if you have any answers, please do drop me a line in the comments section. I am super keen to hear about any clutch problems you might have had with a 2022 KLX 230 standard, or if you have any other insights to offer, please do let me know. Ride safe and I'll catch you later.